that the Eastern TIMA branch in Taiwan holds a free clinic on behalf of the Green Islands residents. We see how students at the National Taichung University in Taiwan improve the society one step at a time. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helena. Thank you for joining us. Green Island off the coast of Taitung becomes a hot tourist destination after winter ends. Though the island is only an hour boat ride away from Taitung, to some 3,000 residents here, it is still rather inconvenient to make the time to go see a doctor. With just one doctor stationed on the island, many have simply endured their illness. To help, the Eastern TIMA branch has recently visited for the third time to hold a free clinic on behalf of the island's residents.
For the third time, the Eastern TIMA branch of Taiwan is holding a free clinic on Green Island. The team set out from Hualien early in the morning. After arriving in Taitung, the volunteers then had to take a ferry. After nearly 5 hours of travel, they arrived at their destination and immediately got to work. Lin Su Lan's children and grandchildren have long moved away, leaving her on her own. What she thought was just a backache turned out to be much more serious. Most of the residents here take on jobs that demand manual labor, and thus Chinese medicine therapy to treat aches and pains, such as acupuncture and cupping, are always in demand.
My neck and shoulders are very tight. It feels like all my muscle have gotten entangled. It's good to see Dr. Yan again. He was here last year too, and immediately started his clinic after he got off the ferry and finished his lunch. He saw so many patients that the nurse felt sorry about assigning him more patients.
As Green Island is only an hour away by ferry from Taitung, there is only a doctor stationed at the health clinic here who is responsible for the some 3,000 residents living here. Thus, Tzu Ji's free clinic is very convenient for residents.
Taking a plane or a ferry to Taitung to see a doctor is just not that convenient. For Tzu Ji to hold its free clinic here is much easier on us.
The two-day free clinic saw 206 registrations. Many seniors saw multiple departments to get all their health problems taken care of.
来看你，慈济医院，你先躺着，哈。你爸背袂起啊？冇紧，来看你，这先给你。
For those that couldn't make it to the clinic, TIMA doctors happily made house calls.
Do you live with your children? Yes. What medicine is he currently on? I need to check him for bed sores.
Dr. Shi inquired thoroughly in order to properly diagnose his patient. He also explained what diverse disease is to the patient's family.
After diving, without depressurization, gas bubbles will form within our bloodstream and cause blockage much like blood clots, which lead to seizure-like symptoms. So if the blockage is near the eyes, it will lead to blindness. It all depends on where the blockage occurs.
Due to damages to his nerves, the 71-year-old patient has been bedridden for decades.
Remember to flip constantly. I know you can't do it on your own and have already taught your wife, but you need to work with her too. Remember, flip to different sides every 2 hours. Otherwise, if you develop bed sores, you will be in a lot of pain.
Dr. Shi patiently and earnestly explains himself so the patient's quality of life can be improved. The group also took time to drop in on Superintendent Gao Ruihe's former patient.
We have brought you a book by your old friend. Do you recognize him?
Ms. Wu underwent radiation therapy at the Hualien Tzu Ji Hospital back in 2008. Though her treatment has long been completed, TIMA members still remember the bond she shares with Tzu Ji.
In China's Guizhou, volunteers that not only bring scholarship support for students but also taking time to visit the families of the recipients to better understand how they can help further. Despite the treacherous journey along the way, the volunteers' determination to care for the recipients and their family members has never faltered. Let's take a look.
Visiting scholarship recipients here in Guizhou, China often means driving into the rugged hinterland that makes up China's countryside. With roads frequently washed out, volunteers often have to walk the final leg of the distance. As volunteers arrive at the scholarship recipient's home, his family is already outside, ready to greet the volunteers. Over the past decade, volunteers have cultivated a close bond with the families living in this isolated part of China.
都是他的工作人员看来教育得很严，不要做对不起别人的事，然后要好好学习，不学习然后就会严厉的处罚这些。
To thank the volunteers for the assistance and care, the grandmother makes them noodles with locally grown herbs and vegetables. Although life is hard in the mountains and those living here don't have a lot, families such as this one have learned to be thankful for what they have. Scholarship recipient Bai En-bi lives with her grandmother and brother in this converted granary. Despite their poverty, the family shares a closeness that money can't buy.
Your mom was very wise in choosing your name. It fits your appearance very well.
Bringing their love to students in need, Tzu Chi volunteers are ensuring that poverty is taken care of at the source by offering hope of a richer, more educated life to China's poor and disadvantaged.
In a weekly series on Young Vegetarian, today we meet 8-year-old Chen Changxiang. Chen Chen has been volunteering alongside his grandmother, who is a Tzu Chi volunteer. Besides dedicating his time and strength at the recycling station, Chen is also a volunteer at the Jingsi Books and Cafe. Furthermore, after taking part in the musical adaptation of the Water Repentance Sutra, Chen decided to follow his grandmother's footsteps and become a vegetarian. I started to go meatless after joining the musical adaptation of the Water Repentance Sutra, and my grandson decided to follow suit. When Changxiang was in the kindergarten, he told his teacher that he only wants to eat meatless dishes. His teacher was shocked. My grandson has been a vegetarian since then.
一次就放太多了。
没关系，吃多一点。对呀。
妈妈，冬菜粉又出来了。
你的火太大了。
是哦，要不然。
没关系啦，没关系啦，也不要紧张。
他好不乖哦，他都不上来。
他像他煮乌龙面。
He knows how to cook udon noodles. On the other day, when I asked him to come to eat dinner, he told me that he would like to have some noodles. I said, if you want to eat udon noodles, you'll have to cook them yourself. I was joking when I said those words, but then he decided to cook the noodles by himself. He really knows how to cook.
I learned to cook noodles by watching my grandmother. First, I need to stir fry until the aroma of vegetables comes out. This dish smells really nice.
哦，真的很好吃。你看你吃的那个样子，就知道很好吃，还不错啦，就是比较干一点，对不对？
你要加水吗？
实际有什么活动？
Whether it is being a kitchen volunteer or a housekeeping volunteer, my grandson follows me to every Tzu Chi event.
谢谢。这是伐的古早画，你看过了吗？没有，你可以带回去试试看。
Chang Shang made a vow while being a part of the musical adaptation. He told me that he wanted to become a doctor in the future. I later asked him if he changed his mind to become a chef, but he said no. My grandson said his goal is to become a doctor because he hopes to save lives.
CUTE 漂亮的可爱的 DAY 1000
My grandma goes to the recycling station very often. Whenever I'm at the recycling station, I will search for things that I like. I want to save a lot of people in the future.
I hope he can be independent, so I let him do many things on his own. My grandson made scorched rice on the other day. I don't know where he learned the skills to cook such a dish. It was very delicious. I guess he has a talent for cooking.
香蕉水果色彩烧焦白。
Teachers at the Tzu Singapore DaAi Educare Center recently brought their students to a nearby farm to teach them how to grow vegetables. The teachers hope that the students could come to a better understanding of the hard work of farmers and learn to cherish the food they have. Let's take a look.
Yes, this is the stem. And lastly, what is this? Yeast. When they are young, our farmers will put them in one by one. Okay, at this stage, they are called the seedlings.
How do cabbages grow? Students of the Tzu Singapore DaAi Educare Center not only saw the cabbage in person, but also had a chance to feel and smell it.
有味道吗？具有味道吗？
很香。
这是什么菜？
拜拜。
你平时有吃吗？呀，回去会叫妈妈买给你吃吗？
Through the guided tour, the students not only learned to recognize a variety of vegetables, but also came to understand the significant time and effort that were invested in growing them. The teacher and students will also be planting their own vegetables when they return to the school.
We let the students grow their own peas and wheatgrass, so they understand the vegetables on their dinner plates were not so easy to grow.
我们的小麦草的芽长得多高？ 有没有看到绿色的呀？
The students learn to water and take care of their seedlings daily and become more in touch with nature as a result.
We'll finish all our food because farmers worked hard for it. If we do not finish it, the farmers will be sad.
好，你们适量把小麦放到嘴巴，整条吃完它，对不对？像它像我们吃水果一样。
Having experienced the natural taste of wheatgrass grown by their own hand, the students proved to themselves that vegetables are in fact tasty and good for their health.
Last year, a group of college students from the National Taichung University of Education ran around Taiwan to visit those often neglected by society, like orphan children in remote tribal villages with those suffering in nursing homes. During their 50 days around Taiwan, the students ran into countless physical and emotional supports. However, through each other's encouragement, they managed to complete their journey. Currently, the group is planning a second trip this year to continue the tradition.
The students' sunburned skin is their prize at the end of a 50-day running tour around Taiwan.
One time I had a fever, but I still didn't give up. I actually really wanted to call it quits, though.
I was sunburned. My arms were very dark. Someone else's toenail fell off while running.
During the journey, the students realized that this trip was not about leisure, but actually a test of endurance and physical strength. Beginning in Taichung, the 10 students first headed south. Those who needed a break from running hopped on a bicycle to continue. During their moments of exhaustion, it was in seeing the children from orphanages and the residents of their nursing homes that gave them the strength to go on.
They were adults who suffer from Down syndrome. They were probably my grandparents' age. Meeting them was such an eye-opener for our group. We thought that if it was within our powers, then we needed to help them.
Their smile is probably the greatest reward for us.
Along the way, the students brought joy to children from tribal villages. They also met some days of heavy rain or fell ill during the trip. However, with encouragement from one another, their journey was completed.
The impact young people have on society is less than that of adults, but it's still powerful. We are not really looking to change, but to improve. We're just trying to do our part and see if we can join hands with others in doing these things.
The 50 Days Around Taiwan was started by Xie Chenxuan, a student at National Taichung University of Education. Originally, what was only an idea has now turned into a tradition that looks to continue. Planning their next adventure, group members discuss how to expand their love as they look to provide long-term companionship for those children living in remote villages and help them grow up right.
In Quezon City, the Philippines, Tzu Chi volunteers recently organized an event at the Obalara Elementary School on behalf of this year's graduates. Besides encouraging students to offer a cup of tea to their educators to thank their years of support, the volunteers also gave each a dictionary to inspire them to study hard. But first, we go to San Mateo, where Tzu Chi volunteers visited 3 schools to congratulate faculty and students for their dedication. Walking into a school in San Mateo, Rizal Province, the Philippines, Tzu Chi volunteers are here to praise faculty and students for their efforts in recycling. This time, a total of 3 schools received recognition from the Tzu Chi Foundation. The amount of recyclables collected by the schools range from 6,200 to some 8,000 kilos.
This is our second time to win the contest. I often tell my students that money is not everything, and we don't have to be rich to be able to help the less fortunate.
I feel great when I know that the recyclables I donated can help reduce the burden on the planet and help the less fortunate.
My first encounter with the Tzu Chi Foundation was following Typhoon Kansana. I received relief items from the charity organization.
Following Typhoon Kansana in 2009, Tzu Chi volunteers walked into the disaster-stricken areas to offer their assistance. Besides providing free meals to 3,000 malnourished students, the volunteers also inspired them to practice recycling and donate money to bamboo coin banks to help the needy.
Two of my students are recipients of Tzu Chi's free lunch. Every day, they'll donate 1 peso to the bamboo coin bank.
For those who won the contest, the volunteers present each with a package filled with stationery and food. The volunteers also prepare 3 household appliances as gifts to thank the educators whose classes collected the most recyclables for their dedication to promoting the practice of recycling. Meanwhile, at the Obalara Elementary School, Tzu Chi volunteers are here to hold an event on behalf of the graduates. Respectfully offering a cup of tea to their teachers, many students can no longer hold back their tears.
The Tzu Chi volunteers act as a bridge that connects us with our teachers and help us better express our gratitude.
Students present a thank you card to thank their teacher for his dedication.
I want to thank you because you're not only a teacher, but also like a second father to all of us. The bond we have formed is something that cannot be measured in time.
As a teacher, I know that I have a significant impact on my students' lives and society. This is the first time I have attended an event like this. My students and the volunteers made me feel extremely proud of being a teacher.
As most of the students of the Obalara Elementary School come from underprivileged families, the dictionaries given to the students are considered as precious gifts.
Thank you, Tzu Chi, for giving us each a dictionary. Now we can look up words that we don't understand.
I hope Tzu Chi's footsteps in helping the old Balara Elementary School or the Philippines will never stop. I know Tzu Chi volunteers will continue to carry out the NGO's charity missions here.
With the love and support of Tzu Chi volunteers and their educators, graduates of the Old Balara Elementary School are ready to embrace the next chapter of their lives. Next, we go to Malacca, Malaysia to meet Tzu Chi volunteer Wang Xiufeng, who suffered from postpartum depression after childbirth. After participating in the musical adaptation of the Water Repentance Sutra, however, Wang not only opened up her heart but also inspired her aunt, who suffered from cancer, to walk the Tzu Chi path. Let's now take a look to see how their lives have changed for the better.
Back in 2009, Wang Xiufeng suffered from postpartum depression after childbirth and began to isolate herself from others.
I used to be very stubborn and had many worries as I was greedy for fame, wealth, and power. I began jotting down the sentences character by character.
After participating in musical adaptation of the Water Repentance Sutra in 2011, Wang Xiufeng, who shut herself off from the rest of the world for 3 years, finally opened her heart.
When I encounter obstacles, the scriptures will serve as reminder and guidelines. Now I've learned to have a loving heart and open mind.
Because of the musical adaptation, Wang Xiufeng not only opened her heart, but also became a more well-rounded person.
When she received an answer that she did not expect, she continued to ask the same question until she received the answer she wanted. Sometimes she would interrupt us mid-sentence to express her point of view. Today we can clearly see that she has changed.
Wang Xiufeng also invited her aunt, who suffers from cancer, to participate in the 2015 musical adaptation of the Water Repentance Sutra and to walk the Tzu Chi path.
I think the most important thing is our health. Without a healthy body, we cannot do anything.
I just showed her a different road. Then she walked into Tzu Chi by herself, and she is now filled with Dharma joy.
Wang Xiufeng has taken Dharma to heart and found the wisdom in her life by forming better relationship with others.
We go to Malabon City, the Philippines at the end of the show, where Tzu Chi volunteers arrive at Barangay Tangsuya with much-needed physical and emotional support for residents affected by a recent fire. Thanks to volunteer support, many residents have regained the strength to face the long road to recovery. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.